May I meet the beast?
I hope for your sake that he likes you.
That sounds like the bad guys teaming up. A lot of people are going to die.
Don't do this.
Are you ready?
What do we call you, sir?
First name, Mr. Last name, Glass.
All right, Mr. M. Night Shyamalan, you are back for your 13th film under your directorial belt. And this one, is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? Is it going to be like The Great, Sixth Sense, or Unbreakable, which is tied to this film? Or is it going to be another crap bag like Lady in the Water, After Earth, or The Last Airbender? Let's find out. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for tuning in to my opinion/review for Glass. I really do appreciate it. I was really looking forward to this film. It was actually in my top most anticipated films of 2019. It has a great cast. We have a so-so director with M. Night Shyamalan, but to be honest, with all the bad films that he has produced, I still do have faith in him because he gave us Unbreakable, Split, which this movies are creating their own cinematic universe, and of course The Sixth Sense, which came out in 1999, and that shocked everybody. But this film right here is crazy. In the good and the bad. It's kind of all over the place in the good and the bad. There are some things that I absolutely loved in this film that I just thought was phenomenal that no other director can possibly do. But then I felt that there's some things that any director or any, child could accomplish. But I think M. Night Shyamalan, kind of dropped the ball there. Now, me personally, I am not the biggest fan of opening credits. I really think that can halt the progression and the flow of a film. But the way M. Night did it in this film right here, I really did like it. The film is called Glass, and that is a theme that was used in the opening credits, and I thought that was quite clever, especially with the score he used in the backdrop. And how it was a fast-paced score, but you was using a slow motion image, and the way those two things came together, it was quite interesting and really kind of got me to the edge of my seat at the very beginning of the film. And the very beginning of the film is great. I mean, you have this character from this movie, this character from this movie, and this character from this movie. The film itself focuses a little bit on each of them, and you can't wait for all of them to get together. I mean, that's what you're wanting. Like, okay, let's have all these characters in one room and one scene bouncing, back and forth off each other. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think anybody, would be excited about that, especially when you have this cast. And, Samuel Jackson is one of my favorite actors, but to be honest, when that finally happened, it just did not necessarily pay off the way that I wanted to. And while the beginning was great and kind of just set the tone, in the middle of the film, things did kind of get a little slow for me and not making sense. Now, I've only seen, the last time I seen Unbreakable was when I was in high school. So that was a long time ago. And I've only seen Split once. And to be honest with you, I fell asleep about 5 minutes in, towards the end of that film. And so I really did not remember that much about Split, and I think that kind of hurt my viewing because as I'm trying to put pieces together and make sense of everything, I'm like, wait, I know this is calling back to this movie and this movie, but I really just don't remember. But me personally, I don't really feel that, it should be a requirement for you to go back and rewatch past footage of any said film to get a full understanding of what's happening right now. But that's just my little 2 cents of advice to you that you may want to do that if you don't remember the past 2 films. But I was speaking about the middle and how things dragged, and that really has to deal with Sarah Paulson. Now, I do think that she is a phenomenal actress, and she had a great performance in this film. She did a great job. I'm not trying to take anything away from her as far as that is concerned. But her character itself, it just did not make sense to me. I was not able to process like why she was in the movie. Yes, they kind of tell you that, okay, her specialty is focusing on people with I forgot the exact term they use, grandeur delusions, or thinking that they're, superhero comic book characters like that. But that plot point was just not fitting in the movie. It just kind of felt disjointed, like, Shamhammer was just really trying to sham or force, something into a place where it really just didn't belong. So it was just, I mean, it was just like a little distracting. And something else that I really just did not like was there were a ton of characters in this movie that just made illogical decisions. It just did not make any sense. I mean, when they're in an uncomfortable situation or to where their life is threatened, to solve the situation, in a positive light, all they had to do was turn around and walk away in some instances, but they're not even able to do that. And that's just like really poor filmmaking in my opinion, as far as this film is concerned. Like M. Night, I really, it's really frustrating because like there are just some things that you just knocked out of the park. They are difficult, but I don't understand how you were not able to succeed the same way with some of the small things. You know what I'm saying? It's like, imagine somebody wearing a tux and they're just suited and booted from head to toe, but on their head they have like a raggedy baseball cap on. Like, no, like why would you have that on to ruin everything else? And he's just not able to do that. And sometimes with the dialogue and the exposition, it was also misplaced. I'm just saying to myself, okay, given the situation and the circumstances with these two characters, they would not be having this conversation right now. The information that they're giving to each other is just there for us, the audience, to understand. It just doesn't make any sense. If this would have been a conversation you would have had years ago, or giving this person's profession, they would have been able to look this up in someone's file. So you just kind of having a word salad right now to explain it to the audience, it just, didn't come across right. But what I really did love across the board are all the performances in this film. Of course, my favorite has to go to Samuel Jackson and James McAvoy. First of all, James McAvoy, he did it in the Split, bouncing around all those multiple personalities. He did it even better in Glass, especially with the Beast. The Beast really did come to life in more ways than one. And I'm not just talking about the physicality. I'm talking about the voice and the mannerisms and all of that good stuff. It really was good stuff. It was gold. No, it was platinum stuff. And I was very, very amazed by, just the way he was coming across on scene. It kind of reminded me of a Hulk, but was somewhat able to control himself, with great acting. I mean, it was great. And then you got Samuel Jackson. I mean, my goodness gracious, this dude right here is off the chain. And the way that he was bouncing off James McAvoy, or what is his name, Kevin Cromwell, he has 23 different names. That was great. That was a great character dynamic. I liked the way they was bouncing off of each other. It was kind of like some yin and yang in more ways than one. One, because, their characters are, I guess you can say, both evil, but they go about it in two separate ways. James McAvoy's character is extremely aggressive. Samuel Jackson's character is very subtle. I mean, he's breakable. So when you have those two parallels, crashing together, it makes a very entertaining scene. And also another yin and yang, because it's just like one is white, one is black. I mean, I don't know. I was just loving that. And Samuel Jackson, his performance was great. I mean, this dude in this movie is a freaking lunatic, psychotic maniac, and he is so smart and so clever. And, I just really do like the way his role was written. You don't know, you think you understand what is going on in this guy's head, but no, he is playing grandmaster chess. He is thinking 27 moves ahead, not 2, not 3, not 6, but 27 moves ahead. And I like really the way that they tied that into the whole comic book lore world universe that a lot of us fans and moviegoers know. And they did that very well. I mean, like, in comic book movies, and I'm thinking about the movie Incredibles, the first one, where we had the villain syndrome, and at the very end of the movie, he's being like self-aware, talking about, oh, Mr. Incredible, you got me monologuing. Like, villains always do that, and then they did that in Glass here, and it's also self-aware, and I liked it. I'm like, yeah, he's monologuing just like, in a superhero comic book film. But in this film, it's like realistic. It's grounded. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, the character can't help it. I mean, they're that crazy. They always say there's a thin line between being a genius and a crazy. And Mr. Glass, the titular character of this film, I can't believe I forgot it earlier. He is really tiptoeing on that line. And, it's really, a great performance. there is also like, also the payoff at the end is pretty satisfying as well. This film is more of a roller coaster for me, because like I was liking the beginning, then I got bored, and I was really liking it again, then I got bored, but then it finished very, very strong. I loved all the characters. M. Night Shyamalan himself, you don't need to be, he is the writer, director, and he also has an acting credit. You should slash that acting credit off. It was horrible. I don't think that you should be like, it was just god awful bad. Like, come on, bro. When you went and rewatched this in the cutting room floor and the editing room, did you not think it was a good idea? Like, okay, yeah, I sucked. I'm a good writer. I'm a good director, producer, but I don't need to be in my own films. But it was very brief. The only character where I really just didn't care much for was a character by the name of Joseph Dunn. Real name is Spencer Treat Clark. He is playing the son of Bruce Willis in this movie. David Dunn, Mr. Security Man or Mr. Garbage Man. These are just jokes that my friends threw around in high school. I don't know if they're still apparent today. I really did not feel the relationship between David Dunn and Joseph Dunn, the father and son, between Bruce Willis and his son Spencer Clark. I really just wasn't feeling it there. I'm not saying that Spencer's performance was bad, but I'm just like, okay, you guys really just don't seem like your father and son. I really am not feeling this relationship here. Now, I have not watched any other reviews. I don't even know what the RT score is right now, but like I said before, I do know that the opinions were split in this movie. No pun intended there. And this movie will frustrate some people. It will also, get some people wrong, and it's like, yeah, this was great. And I'm sure in all these other reviews, people are all saying like, it's hard to talk about this movie without spoiling it. It really is, because I'm leaving a lot out. I don't know if there was something at the very end of the movie. I mean, at the very end of the credits. But I really want to say more, but I really don't want to spoil the movie for you, because I did not expect the ending. I thought the ending was, at first I thought I was getting let down. Like, oh my gosh, you promised me this. And we were so close, but then you flip the script on me and we're going down this path. But, oh, wait a minute. This path over here may be great. And, it really was a strong ending. I really did like it. It was a night. Well, I don't even want to say that, because that's just it could be considered a slight spoiler. But, overall, I mean, I really did enjoy the film. It had great performances. Most of it did pay off. We had a nice score. There was also just some things with the color that I really did like about what M. Night did. And I just want to read this to you. Creator M. Night Shyamalan talks about the importance of colors in this movie. He chose green for David Dunn because psychologically it's associated with life-giving properties. David is a protector of life. He's a vigilante. Yellow for the beast, because he's like an evangelist, wanting to, beast and break the broken people. And he chose the color purple for Mr. Glass, because, he feels like he's an important, majestic character in some type of royalty. And the way that he incorporated all that, and the way the colors faded in and out with the cinematography, and seeing, Mr. Glass with his purple suit on, like, that was great. And it just kind of goes to show Samuel, and I thought I was going to end this review. It kind of goes to show Samuel Jackson's acting chops, to how he can become so convincing and threatening in a wheelchair. And I don't mean any disrespect to all my handicapped brothers and sisters out there in the world. No disrespect, but at the same time, if somebody runs up on you on a wheelchair, you're possibly not thinking that your life is in danger. But when Samuel Jackson, when Mr. Glass does, it's like, okay, God, dog, I feel like this dude is controlling the world. He's tricking me right now, so he was really able to pull things off with that. And I'm talking about the good, but there were just too many instances to where like it was a character just doing something stupid, and I'm just like, run the F away. Why are you standing there? I mean, we really had one person, I hate to spoil it, this is one in the movie. Okay, I see the guy over there. I think he's about to kill me. What should I do? What should I do? Should I stand here and get killed, or should I run away? Now, he didn't say that last part, but he might as well. And everybody's screaming like, what are you doing? Run away, or do this or do that. I just don't understand it. I mean, you have a lot of characters in this film right here that is playing with fire, and a lot of them got burnt. Rightfully so. I mean, it was just kind of stupid as far as I'm concerned. But overall, I mean, I really did like the film. If I were to rate Glass out of a 1 out of 10, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Yes, a 7 out of 10. Man, I was about to spoil it again. If I do a spoiler review, it will make more sense. But while this film did have a lot of great things going about it, there were just some things with the exposition, dialogue, and some of the stupid character decisions that had to make me bring it down. But guys, that is just my opinion. What did you think of Glass? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Do you want to see it? Or have I turned you on? Have I turned you off? Do you agree with me or do you disagree with me? Let me know down in the comment section below. Let's get this conversation going and keep it flowing. And also, I wanted to note that Disney owns Touchstone, which is the producer for Unbreakable that came out in 2000. Universal did split. Universal and Disney came together to make this film. This is the first time this film ever, that these two studios ever collaborated. They have been in a war financially in their in the film industry and with their theme parks for like half a century, and now they're working together, which also makes me think about this. Excuse me, sorry for hitting the mic. This film is based off of a comic book lore franchise or whatever. What also is really popular right now as far as comic books is concerned, Marvel and Avengers and things like that. Now we know that Universal owns not the production rights, but they own the distribution rights to the Incredible Hulk character. So Mark Ruffalo came out months ago just like, I mean, hey, we trying to make this solo Hulk film. Universal doesn't want to make money, yada yada yada. Well, they made this deal here, so hopefully we can get this, Universal and Disney to come together again to make another solo Hulk film. That would be great. If you like this video, go ahead and give me the thumbs up. If you don't, that's fine. But you can still subscribe to my channel. You can also look me up on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all that good stuff. It's right there at the bottom of your screen, and I made it very easy by providing a link to all that good stuff down in the description box below. But guys, I just want to thank you again for tuning into my opinion/review that's not a reaction, my opinion/review for Glass. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.